Let's talk about pay to win in Aion 2. In the last few days, I have seen many videos from different content creators talking about pay to win in Aion 2. And all of these videos are spreading misinformation about Aion 2. There are two camps. One camp is claiming that Aion 2 is hard pay to win game, which is actually totally opposite from the truth. That is not true. And also another camp claiming that Aion 2 will be game without pay to win. That is also not true. Where is the truth? Well, it's somewhere in the middle. Aion 2 will be very mild pay to win game, almost zero pay to win. Yes, you heard right. This sounds unbelievable because we have experience already with NCSoft from the games like Aion. I am Aion veteran player playing this game more than 15 years. But not only Aion, Blade and Soul, Lineage or Lineage, however you want to call it, and also other Korean games in the past like Lost Ark, also Black Desert Online. Yes, pay to win usually is present in many MMORPGs coming from the Eastern market. However, Aion 2 will be something different. It will be very mild pay to win, almost non-existence pay to win. Why am I saying that? You'll find out in today's video. I'll explain clearly why is Aion almost game without pay to win, mild pay to win. You need to watch this video until the end to understand full picture regarding Aion 2 and regarding pay to win. Before we start, let me just say, subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more of Aion 2 videos in the future, and also follow me on Twitch. I'm live streaming every single day, mandatory, no skipping. Visit me on Twitch every day about 7 p.m. Central European Time. If you have any kind of questions regarding the game, including pay to win, if you have any kind of questions, visit me on Twitch. I'll be glad to answer and to keep you updated regarding everything what is happening in the world of Aion 2. But now, let's talk about pay to win in Aion 2. Now, to clearly understand everything regarding pay to win in Aion 2, actually how there is no pay to win almost in Aion 2, you need to understand how are working game systems. First important system is system regarding gear. In Aion 2, we are going to have PvP gear and PvE gear. Very similar to original Aion, still very different. I'll explain how. So, PvP gear is the best gear in the game. It's called Abyss gear and you can get it only on one way. You can buy it with Abyss currency. That's it. So there is Abyss weapon, Abyss accessories, and Abyss armor. And you can buy that gear from NPC with Abyss currency. Now, already now on the start, it's important to mention that you cannot get Abyss currency with real money. There is no any kind of transition from real money to Kuna or to Kina. I will explain that later in a second. Or maybe some indirect way. Yes, I will talk about entries to Abyss. That is important to say. Also, zero pay to win. So, there is no any kind of way that you could pay to win your way to Abyss gear. Abyss gear is the best gear in the game, even without any competition. Why? Because Abyss gear, for example, weapon, have 10% additional PvP attack. For example, armor, there are usually 5 armor parts. They are having defense, PvP defense in percentages like 5% additional PvP defense for one armor part. For example, I'm just saying for example. Also accessories are very powerful. They are giving you, depending on accessories, additional PvP damage, PvP attack, or PvP defense. So Abyss gear is the best gear in the game. You need to realize also that you cannot play PvP in PvE gear. Aion 2, as one real MMORPG, is going to have lots of PvE content to play. We have heard from developers of the game that Aion 2 will be actually a PvE-focused game. But right now, after 3 live streams from NCSoft, we can already clearly see that Aion 2 will be a lot focusing on PvP. In Aion 2, you are going to be able to PvP in Abyss, limited, but also in open world via rifting. You can go rifting, open world PvP. Not only that, 1 versus 1, 4 versus 4, and 8 versus 8 PvP modes, only for beginning. That means that real endgame of Aion 2 will not be PvE. Even that in Aion 2 we are going to have 200 dungeons, hidden dungeons, party dungeons. No, a real endgame is PvP. And the only way to pay to win in Aion 2 would be when you will be able to buy Abyss gear for real money, indirectly or directly. And you can't do that. Not directly, not indirectly, zero way. So in the game, we are going to have Kina as a gold. Let's call it like that. That will be in-game currency, which you can get in the game by playing the game, doing different kind of activities. There will be lots of things to do in the game and ways how to get Kina. That is gold in Aion. Let's call it that way. And also, Kina will be used on auction house. There is another currency, Kuna. Yes, Kuna will be paid with real money. You can get it with real money. And also, you can exchange Kuna into Kina and vice versa. Yes, you can do that. So, real money for Kuna and then Kuna for Kina. And you will say, come on, man, that's pay to win. Well, it would be pay to win when you would be able to get with Kina Abyss gear or Abyss currency. And you can't do that. There is zero way to do that. All you can do with Kina, you know what you can do with Kina? You can buy potions, you can buy scrolls. Is that pay to win? Yes, it is. That's why I'm saying that Aion is not game with zero pay to win, but almost pay to win. Because if you are going to complain and cry about buying potions and scrolls, including PvE gear, I'm coming to that part in a second, then I don't know what to say. Then you maybe shouldn't play MMORPGs. Real pay to win would be when you would be able to buy Kuna with real money, then Kina with Kuna, and then on the end, Abyss currency or Abyss gear with Kina. And that is not possible. That's not the end of the story. I will talk about business model in a second. We're going to talk about that to clearly explain there is a subscription and there is a battle pass. Let's touch on that before we go further into PvE gear part of buying with real money. Let's dive into that. But let's touch on business model, because business model of this game will be free to play, no subscription. In the game, there will be subscription and battle pass. Two different things. One thing is subscription, one thing is battle pass. Neither of these things is pay to win. Zero pay to win battle pass, zero pay to win membership or subscription. Let me explain. Battle pass should contain cosmetics, different kind of decoration items for your weapon, for your armor, maybe for your wings, pets, mounts, maybe some kind of touch, let's say scroll, maybe some kind of potion, but nothing pay to win, if you understand what I mean. Regarding subscription or membership, not subscription like World of Warcraft, nothing like World of Warcraft. Aion 2 have nothing to do with World of Warcraft. I have seen one content creator comparing World of Warcraft with Aion 2. Zero knowledge about the game. Zero knowledge about the game, and then you have comparison like that. Aion 2 have zero similarities with World of Warcraft. Business model, gameplay-wise, zero. Absolutely zero. Totally opposite games. So, regarding subscription, it will cost you between 10,000 and 20,000 wons per month. In translation, that is between $7 and $14 per month. Not 30, not 29, between $7 or maximum $14 per month. What are you going to get with that subscription? You know what you're going to get? You are going to get opportunity to trade with another player. So player-to-player trade will not be possible. Player-to-player direct trade will not be possible if you don't have that subscription. Is that pay to win? Well, if you want to nitpicking, you might call it maybe to some way, but definitely not. Come on, like seriously, this is not pay to win. Also, there will be another benefits, not only that benefit to this subscription, but nothing what I have seen so far is indicating that subscription or membership will be pay to win. So, zero pay to win in Battle Pass, zero pay to win in subscription, free to play game. So, where is pay to win coming from? That mild pay to win, which I already mentioned, this game will have mild pay to win. To clarify, I'm not saying that Aion 2 will not be pay to win. It will be pay to win, but very, very mild. Much less pay to win than Lost Ark, much less pay to win than Black Desert Online, much less pay to win than original Aion, much less pay to win than Throne and Liberty, and much less pay to win than many MMORPGs currently on the gaming market. I'm just explaining you in this video how is that possible. So let's go back to that pay to win part where many content creators were totally misunderstood how is the economy working, how are systems working in Aion 2. Everybody was getting upset because you can buy Kuna with real money and then you can transfer Kuna into Kina. Basically, you can sell Kuna to other players in the game in exchange for Kina. And then I can see one content creator mentioning, then you can buy everything for Kina. That is not true. That is a lie. You cannot buy everything with Kina. What is most important, you cannot buy either Abyss gear, the best gear in the game, which you need for PvP, neither you can buy Abyss currency, which you need to buy Abyss gear. So that is already saying no pay to win. Now, let's talk about PvE pay to win part of the story. Because on the auction house, there should be available different PvE items to buy. What kind of PvE items? Let's clarify this. Nothing like Throne and Liberty. I can see many comparing Aion 2 with Throne and Liberty. Absolutely zero resemblance. So in Throne and Liberty, you can buy with Lucent, premium currency, directly some part of the gear. Armor, weapon, accessory, you can buy. You can see clearly part of the gear, you buy it, you put equip on yourself, that's it. In Aion 2, you can't do that. What do I mean by that? Well, in Aion 2 PvE gear, after you get that part of the gear in the dungeon, you have two options. Either you're going to double click on it and equip it, and on that way, gear will be soul binded, and you will get determined stats. If you don't do that, gear will not have revealed stats. It will be unknown stats, and you can put it to auction house to sell it. That means whoever is going to buy that part of the gear doesn't know what is buying. But you could be buying total trash. And if you think that it'll be easy to get some decent gear part on this way, you are totally wrong. You could spend millions and millions of Kina for trash, for nothing. We all know how are looking drop rates in games from NCSoft. To get some good gear part, PvE gear part, it's insanely hard. And I can promise you, that part of the pay to win, which, like I said, yeah, you can call it pay to win to some point, but you need to take in consideration, like I said again, this is neither the best gear, neither you know what are you buying, and if you think that you are going to pay to win even with thousands of euros or dollars easily on that way, you are wrong. You are terribly wrong. So this is that mild pay to win part of the story, and we are not over. Wait, we are still not over to explain how the game is really mild pay to win. So another part of the story would be when we are talking about dungeons, entries to dungeons. We have seen that you can buy additional entries to dungeon. Logically, you would say, come on man, if you can buy unlimited amount of entry to dungeons, that would be actually definition of pay to win. However, that is not the case. You can buy only 7 entries additionally per week for dungeon. I'll repeat this. There is a limitation with a purpose. Because, like I said again, game is not hard pay to win. NCSoft have put smart limitation. You can buy only 7 entries additionally per week in dungeon. If you think that is going to help you regarding pay to win, regarding some power of your character, 7 additional entries per week, I can tell you right away, you are wrong. You still didn't play any kind of game from NCSoft and you didn't see drop rates. That is zero advantage. Zero. Another advantage regarding pay to win, which we are thinking it could be worrying at some point in time, it was that you can buy with real money indirectly rest tokens. Rest tokens you can use after you die in the battle. And we were thinking, okay, so if you die in PvP, right? Imagine you can rest, just automatically rest with some HP. That would be terrible. However, NCSoft have put again smart limitation to make game not pay to win. You know what they did? You can use rest token only in PvE. You cannot use rest token in PvP. Another smart limitation to reduce pay to win. We are still not over. Let's talk about elephant in the room, something very important which many content creators have just skipped because they don't understand how the game works. So where would that pay to win part come actually, right, regarding pay to win? That would be regarding Abyss, because you need to farm Abyss currency. With Abyss currency, you are buying best gear in the game, PvP gear. You cannot do PvP in PvE gear, so you need PvP gear. Now, how to farm Abyss currency? First of all, there is not only one way how to farm Abyss currency. It's not about Abyss. Forget about Abyss. You can go in Abyss only 7 hours per week. There is a way how to extend that period of time, but not via real money, via quest. You can get additional hours in Abyss by doing quest on a free-to-play way, not paid way. You cannot buy indirectly or directly with real money, doesn't matter, directly or indirectly, you cannot buy entries to Abyss. But that's not the end of the story. Forget about Abyss. You know how you're going to farm Abyss currency? Arenas. 1 versus 1, 4 versus 4. Battlefield, 8 versus 8. You cannot pay to win that. And also, wait, what about open world PvP? What about rifting? When you defeat somebody in PvP, you're going to earn Abyss points. However, when you are going to lose in PvP, when you die, you're going to lose also Abyss points. So if you go rifting, that is another way of farming Abyss points. And guess what? There is no pay to win there. It is what it is. I am not sure whether they put any kind of limitations regarding these systems, or could they implement in the future some pay to win? It's possible. I don't know what will NCSoft do in a half year from now. They could put some things from original Aion, which would be actually pay to win. Because pay to win part of the story is revolving about Abyss currency, not about transition from Kuna to Kina. Everybody was kind of berserkering about that. Kuna to Kina, oh my God, how is that transferring? You can buy everything. No, you can't. No, you can't. First of all, business model of the game is totally without pay to win. Free-to-play game, no pay to win in Battle Pass, no pay to win in subscription, membership. There is mild pay to win. I admit, there is mild pay to win connected to your PvE gear. Now, on the end of the video, I want to also cover something very important, by the way, because if you think I can forget about something, no, I didn't. I am playing Aion for 15 years. I have already studied everything regarding Aion 2. I have my friends, few people around me, which are amazing, with amazing knowledge about Aion 2. They are Aion 2 gurus. We have studied every word, every information from NCSoft, so we know what's happening. Let's talk about enchantment stones and mana stones. Because if you want to enchant your PvP or PvE gear, or put mana stones, or maybe even god stones, there is possibility we are going to have also god stone. We have seen something like paralyzed god stone already. That's a story for another video. Yes, absolutely, I agree with you. This could be that pay to win part of the story regarding progression of your character. However, we don't know to what extent. There won't be any enchantment stones in the store to buy. You cannot buy it directly or indirectly with real money. Now, on auction house, probably, yes, there will be mana stones and enchantment stones. However, they will be in very limited quantity, not easy to buy because people will use them, and they will be extremely expensive. I can guarantee you on that. And if you think that you are going to pay to win on that way, that will cost you a lot of money. And on the end of the day, this is the only segment which I can say definitely, yes, this is pay to win part of the story. But regarding best gear in the game, and in general gear in the game which you want, nobody cares about PvE gear. If you think that you are going to care about PvE gear, I'm telling you are wrong. You cannot play PvP in PvE gear. You are going to die in less than 2 seconds if you meet somebody in PvP gear, if you are having PvE gear. PvE gear, we definitely can, and we will collect for fun. We can maybe get even extendable weapons. That's a story for another video from the dungeons. That is a valuable part of the story. But if you think that you are going to pay to win hard on PvE gear, well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, because you're not going to do that. And if it makes you happy that you are going to kill some mob faster than me, if I'm going to play as a free-to-play player and you as a pay-to-win player buying PvE gear, if you kill some mob 0.05 seconds faster than me, if that makes you happy, congratulations. But this shouldn't make you happy. What should you make you happy? If you can get some kind of advantage in PvP regarding pay-to-win. And believe me when I say that, you can't do that. From the systems which I have seen so far regarding pay to win in Aion 2, conclusion, who is right? Content creators who are claiming that Aion is a hard pay to win game, or content creators who are, you will see many videos also claiming Aion is no pay to win? Neither. They don't have information. They don't have knowledge. They don't have information about the game. They didn't do enough research. It's fine. I do understand. Not everybody is playing Aion for 20 years or whatever, right? I do understand. However, nobody is right. Truth is somewhere in the middle. Aion 2 is definitely not hard pay to win, and it's also definitely not without pay to win. It's mild pay to win, very mild, almost zero pay to win. NCSoft have done incredible job, and I'm not saying this because I'm paid Absolutely. I'm not glazing. I'm not glazing anything. I'm not saying this because I want to get into some partner program or something. No, I'm saying you the truth, honestly. Also, I'm not paid to say that. Probably should pay me how much I'm glazing, but seriously, I'm not paid. NCSoft have done incredible job regarding making Aion 2, well, least pay to win, which is possible, which is acceptable, not only for Korean players, but for global players. So regarding business model, free-to-play, subscription, battle pass, customization throughout cosmetics for your armor, for your wings, for your pets, mounts, and regarding these limitations, which are actually limiting you for doing any pay-to-win. So I hope I can manage to clarify today's situation regarding pay-to-win. There is still many things to say, just to tell you, there are many things to say here. If I need to clarify something, visit me on Twitch. Visit me on Twitch every evening about 7 p.m. Central European Time. I'm live streaming every evening, mandatory. Visit me on Twitch. I can go in further clarification how Aion is not pay to win, actually mild pay to win. Let me correct myself. I will not say it's not pay to win. It's mild pay to win. And how anybody who you can hear saying it's hard pay to win or no pay to win doesn't have clue about game systems and why we can be optimistic regarding release of Aion 2. Now you know what the situation regarding pay to win in Aion 2. And yeah, guys, if you have any kind of questions, join me on Twitch. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you soon with another Aion 2 video.